Good morning and welcome, everyone. We appreciate you guys being here today. My name is Steve Cole. I'm the Director of Operations here at Level 5, and my co-host is our founder and technical guru, Ben Filippelli. He's the magician that makes all the magic happen here at Level 5. Okay, so let me quickly tell you a little bit about Level 5. We just celebrated our 13th year in business and are currently supporting clients in 20 different states and the government of Panama's financial systems. A company is only as good as its people, and our team is made up of 12 highly qualified engineers and is supplemented by a dedicated security operations center based here in the United States that operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Our security operations center monitors all of our customer environments, protecting them from the hackers of the world in real time. But enough about us. Let's dig into why you're actually here. Most of you already know why you're here, but for those of you who don't, you're probably a CPA or a tax professional or someone in that industry, and you're hearing all this noise about these new FTC safeguard rules. Or maybe you haven't heard about it yet, and you want to know why and what exactly you need to do to minimize your risk, avoid the fines and the possible jail time that come from the FTC in the case of a breach. Not to mention the potential for the consumer lawsuits that come from not being in compliance with this law. So the first thing you might be wondering is why the FTC has enacted these laws. Well, simply put, the FTC is on a mission to protect the consumer's right to privacy and security of their information. And they're going to do this by ensuring the information that you have is protected properly by enforcing some very specific security measures on your business. So the FTC rule regulates that you must develop, implement, and maintain a comprehensive security program that secures and monitors consumer data for security breaches against unauthorized access. To reiterate that, failure to comply with the FTC Safeguards rules can jeopardize you and your business. The fines are up to $100,000 for the business, $10,000 for each owner and director, and depending on the severity, up to 5 years in jail. Not to mention the professional consequences like losing the ability to e-file as an easy example. So let me take a minute to be a little more clear on this. The FTC does not have a police force that is going to come into your business and check on you. However, it's much like getting into a car accident. If you're not wearing your seatbelt, you're going to get into more trouble with the police than if you had been wearing it. Not to mention, if the car accident was bad enough, you could lose your life. So it's very similar in that regard. So why is right now the time to act? Well, the deadline is June 9th, which is a couple of months away, and it takes about 90 days to completely deploy the solution within your environment. The amount of qualified, and I want to stress qualified, security professionals in the market today is pretty minimal, especially the ones that understand these FTC safeguard rules is extremely limited. Not all IT providers are capable of helping you do this. And lastly, while you wait to decide about how you want to move forward, because you must move forward, your business continues to be at risk. So what you're seeing right now is a story that happens every single day. The hackers are coming after the money, and the more access that you have to it, the more of a target that you are. This is why the FTC created the rule to begin with. This particular accounting firm got hit twice on the same day, had to pay $300,000 for each of its offices, and because of it, they went out of business. And I want to introduce a concept to you about cyber insurance. This company was not following industry best practices. And because of that, their cyber insurance did not pay them. And that is what caused them to go out of business. This is not a joke. So right now, I'd like to sidestep for a moment, and I want to introduce to you the head of our marketing department, Logan Henderson. He has a real life story that I believe you'll want to hear. So with that, Logan, why don't you tell everyone your family story?
Sure. So my family's generation, like my immediate family, was the first generation in our family to actually buy their own business and transition from employment to self-employment and actually take a real crack out of changing a lifestyle and growing out of it. And about 3 years into this new venture, we wound up getting breached in a big way. And it happened in a way that you wouldn't want to ever have happen in your business, of course, but it's just so close to home. We had an executive assistant that was working closely with us. And eventually she went and she fell on the floor, broke her wrist, and she went on medical leave of absence. And it's a broken wrist. Take 6 months, come on back. I mean, it was a desk job in the first place. It wasn't like you're lifting heavy boxes or anything. It's an executive assistant role. But suddenly 6 months turns into 9 months, turns into 12 months, and the game keeps playing. And then eventually she comes back, and we filled the role. It wasn't a great fit. We just didn't have a place for her anymore. And so she went on her way. Not 3 months after that, we log into her bank details, and it's zeroed out. All of our payroll, all of any money that we actually had, because at that time, being a newer business, we didn't have investment accounts and other places to put our money. This was all of our money that we were using to pay off the business. It was about $300,000 that was in those accounts, and it was just gone. So one day, things are going good. We were on track to pay off the business early. It was a 5-year business loan. It was going to be paid off in 3 years. Coming up to the end of that 3 years, and boom, 300K gone. And it was just one of the most gut-wrenching things to go through. Like all of that effort, energy, and focus. It was a family deal as well. We had staff, and gone. We followed the paper trail. And the reason why I bring up this executive assistant from the beginning is because there's only certain details that she had that was in that picture. And she clearly was working with an expert. She got a hold of somebody who knew how to game the system and make money move between accounts. We are right in central Canada, and you could see it literally hopping from bank account to bank account, heading west. And it would go from one province to another province all the way to Vancouver. And then next thing you know, poof, it's crossed the ocean, and now it's somewhere over in Asia. It hopped at least 10 accounts to get there. And you could just see a $10,000 fee taken here, and a $50,000 fee taken here, and a $240,000 sent overseas. Gone. Lost all of our money. At that time, fortunately, we were protected from our bank. This was about 12 years ago now. And the environment of cybersecurity was different than it is today. It's our understanding today that if the same thing was to happen to us, because blatantly it was our negligence, it was our own, it was us trusting the wrong people with the wrong information that got us into the wrong place. But every breach is ultimately our fault in some way. And it's just not us taking those protective measures and not trusting our own. And you know, as much as we like people, she had flexible morals. And that was the issue with what we ran into. So the bank did pay us. They did replace that money, and we were able to pay off our business. And I'm able to have a lot of the privileges that I have today and our family has today as a result of that. And we're very grateful for that. But we absolutely take the preventative measures now to make sure that that would never happen again. So back to you, Stephen.
That's an amazing story. Thank you for sharing. All right. So So what does a reasonable information security program look like? Well, there are 9 basic steps that the FTC would like you to follow. And let's go ahead and step through them one by one and kind of take a look at them, right? So the first step to comply with these FTC mandates is to nominate a responsible person. Well, it's not as easy as it sounds. A responsible person needs to understand how the process or how you process and store consumer data within your company. And you must be able to detect anomalies and events as they're happening and be able to take corrective action. That's not calling your IT guy going, hey, my computer doesn't work. Something happened. Can you come take a look? That is not a responsible person. A responsible person sees something happening as it's happening and is doing something about it live, right? That is a responsible person. Step 2 is to have a security professional complete a cybersecurity risk assessment on your business. This shows you where your cyber vulnerabilities are and what your business risk looks like. That is the first part of the engagement with level 5 if you choose to work with us, right? We need to know where you are currently and what holes that we need to plug. All right. So step 3 is to design and implement phase of the FTC Safeguards compliance. If you choose to do business with level 5, we have done all the hard work for you already. We spent the last year working with cyber insurance companies and reviewing and evaluating the FTC safeguard rules and assembling the tools and putting the policies and procedures in place to help you guys become compliant. Step 4 is to regularly monitor and test the effectiveness of your safeguards. This involves reviewing any changes that you make to your environment or new security measures. This is to make sure that you don't create any new vulnerabilities. Maybe you open up a second office. Maybe you hire a bunch of new people. So all of these things potentially create new vulnerabilities. So we just constantly need to stay on top of that to make sure you're not doing it. Step 5 is to train your employees on a regular and consistent basis against not only current threats today, but previous threats that are still out there, and not to mention new threats as they become prevalent, right? Last week was a VoIP phone, 0-day exploit that came out. Our security operations center was on top of that within 30 minutes. All of our clients were protected within 45 to 60 minutes, and none of our clients suffered a breach because of a 0-day exploit, but hundreds of thousands of people were, right? And our job is to make sure that you're not a victim. So with that said, the biggest takeaway here is your employees are your first line of defense and also the weakest link in your chain, right? None of us are foolproof. We can all become better, right? Step 6 is about protecting your customers' data from other vendors that have access to your systems. You would think that that's pretty simple, but it's really not. It's very difficult to protect your business from liability and cyber attacks when you don't control the people that you partner with, right? So having a good security team like level 5 to rely on to look at their security procedures and policies and either help them evaluate or help them make changes to better protect you is an extremely important step in this process. Step 7 is about staying up to date on industry best practices, keeping informed about the latest security standards, the new frameworks, the guidances, that are relevant to your business and your industry. If I were going to guess, you probably are super busy running your business and don't have time to do these things, right? Unfortunately, that excuse doesn't work with the FTC or your insurance company. And I would gander to bet probably your customers don't want to hear that answer either. So taking precautions and being prepared is far more important than the potential outcome of not being prepared. Step 8 is to have a plan. Well, you're probably thinking, what could be easier than having a plan? We all have plans, right? Well, you might be shocked to find out that when your business is attacked, when your money disappears, when your systems don't operate, you're in a state of panic. Your blood pressure is through the roof. You're not thinking clearly. Having a step-by-step guide that you can literally pull off the wall because it's printed right there for you, that you can follow, will lower your blood pressure, will make sure that you don't skip steps and you don't miss anything, because you know what you need to do, when you need to do it, who you need to call. The other thing here is knowing what the laws are in your state, right? Every state has different cyber breach security laws, whether you call law enforcement, the FBI. You've got to know these things. Level 5 does. And level 5 can help you, guide you into a safe and secure plan to recover and safeguard your business. All right, so the last step, the final step, is all about reporting. Now, from our perspective, we report to you, we report to the insurance company and to the Federal Trade Commission, and if necessary, law enforcement, when it's required, right? Nothing is voluntarily provided, right? But when there's an attack or a breach, you need to be able to prove that you are in compliance with the law. Otherwise, all of the negative consequences on top of the breach itself are going to happen. And that's something that you absolutely do not want to happen. And the other key takeaway here, right, that I want to stress is, again, cyber insurance. Insurance companies are always looking for a reason not to pay you, right? And not following best practices, not living up to the FTC safeguards is an excuse for them not to pay your claim. You know, I just read an article yesterday that said that insurance companies, cyber insurance companies, are now saying that if your breach, when you get attacked, if it came from another country, or a hacker outside of the country, they're considering that now an act of war. So act of war is specifically excluded in your cyber insurance policy. Now, I'm not a cyber insurance agent or insurance agent of any type, but I would encourage you to have these conversations with your insurance company, right? With your broker. These are big deals. And if you need references and referrals to cyber insurance companies or agents, we work with many of them, and we're happy to provide that. That's something that is a value add with level 5. All right. So the last thing that, really is to talk about is how to start moving forward. You need to start making decisions on how you want to mitigate your business risk, how you want to protect your data, how you want to protect your business. Level 5 can help, but it takes time. There's things that we need to do for you. There's things that we need you to do, right? We both have to take steps to ensure your compliance. Excuse me. So let's talk about the timeline a little bit, right? To do a cybersecurity risk assessment, it's a 30-day process. So for us to know what your risks are, where your gaps are, and then it takes 90 days to fully implement. Now, obviously, we're running up against the wire and we will expedite it. But again, the FTC is not coming into your business. The thing that we need to focus on for everyone here is you just need to be moving forward, right? We can expedite things, but it's not a light switch. I can't just turn it on and everything is golden, right? Everything takes time, and you need to stay on top of that. You need to be cognizant of that. So some of you might be thinking, I have an IT department. Maybe you have another technology provider, or maybe you have somebody in-house. All of that is fantastic. We love to hear it. We work really well in what we call a co-managed environment as well, where we will handle the security and your existing folks can handle the day-to-day help desk activities. No one needs to lose their job. No one needs to fight the, the efforts. If they could do it, they would do it for you. But they're not even aware of this, which should tell you everything that you need to know about what's happening, right? A lot of this is staying on top of regulation, watching what the federal government is doing, watching what, the rules and the laws that are changing, right? And at the end of all of this, the one question that you need to answer to yourself is are you willing to assume the risk to yourself and to your business by not protecting it properly, right? So here are your options. You can try to do this all yourself, wading through all of the jargon of the FTC, trying to piecemeal a solution together in the next 90 days, or you can talk to us. This is what we do. This is what we live. This is what we breathe. This is what we believe in. We want to help you. We want to protect you. We seriously do, right? A safer business for all businesses makes a safer country. So Level 5 is a top-tier award-winning IT company. We have assembled the best cybersecurity tools on the market to ensure compliance and protection for your business. You might be thinking anyone can buy tools. That's true. You can. You can check the boxes, but do you have the expertise to implement them, watch them, maintain them? Maybe. Or you could trust somebody that does this for a living, right? At Level 5, we always say the people and the service that we provide is at the heart of everything that we do. And we sincerely believe that, and we seriously want to help you. All right, so what's the next step? Well, you can go to our booking website, book your CSRA today, .com, to schedule a discovery call with us. Myself or one of our teammates will reach out. We'll talk to you about what that looks like, see if we're a right fit for you, see if you're, what you're looking to do. And, we'll show you what you need to do to be compliant with these FTC regulations before the deadline gets here. And trust me when I tell you, the risks are not worth it. All right, so I have just thrown a tremendous amount of information at you. So I'm sure we have some questions out there. So Ben, have you been taking a look at the chat, and is there anything out there that, one of us needs to answer?
Yeah, I just have 2 questions and I can answer them.
Oh, sure, great.
The first one is, we are only 5 employees. Does the FTC safeguards apply to us? And yes, absolutely it does. If you're operating with less than 5,000 consumer records, and that's not 5,000 customers, that's 5,000 files that have consumer, private information in them. So one family could have, you could have 100 documents, right, with W-2s and 1099s in different forms. So if you're under 5,000 records, you're not required to do ongoing risk assessments on an annual plan. However, if you're a CPA firm or you're doing e-filing, you need a WISP, and the WISP is also part of doing an annual security ongoing risk assessment and plan. So, you kind of get out of one thing, but then if you want to e-file, you need to put that thing back in because that's a part of your WISP. And that leads to the second question, which was, do you do the WISP for us? And yes, we will absolutely help you with the WISP. We'll help you file it. We'll, fill it all out for you and get it done as a part of the package. The majority of the clients in this space obviously are doing e-filing and working with the IRS, and they will have to have the written information security plan filled out. It looks like annually right now we have to renew it and stuff. So that is a part of this package, and it is included for the clients who have, 30, 40 employees. Obviously, you'll have a written information security plan already required, and then that will just basically move over to your WISP as well. So that will be filed as well. So yeah, you get out of one thing, but then it gets added back in if you do e-filing. So for most people, all the FTC safeguards are going to be required.
Awesome. Anything else show up, or are we good?
Oh, is there a cost for the FTC strategy session? So no, there's no cost. We just hop on a call and see if we're a good fit with each other. Create a game plan moving forward, and try and get you set up in the right direction. With the 9 steps and everything like that have to go with becoming FTC safeguards ready and compliant. So if we're a good fit, we could talk about doing a risk assessment, which then drives everything else.
Perfect. All right. Awesome. Okay. So I want to thank you, all of, you guys for coming today, taking your time. If you're ready to protect your business, if you'd like to talk, please reach out to us. Again, up on the screen is the website that you can go to book your first time appointment with us. Again, as Ben said, it is free of charge. There's no cost just to talk. We will share a tremendous amount of information with you, find out what you're looking to do, and we'll see if there's a path forward. All right. So again, if you'd like a copy of this presentation, please send me an email or put your email address in chat, and we will be happy to send it out to you. If you'd like to talk, my information is up there. You're welcome to email me, call me, or go to the booking website. Any of those methods works. And again, I want to thank you all for your time, and have a great week. All right.
Thank you, everybody.